Hello, my name is Franz and today I will show you the DIAMAT-Film Annotator. The intention of the DIAMAT-Film Annotator is to annotate films prior to film restoration. In order to get a better overview of my movie, I will do a cut detection first. Alternatively, I can import the cuts from an EDL. As you can see in the background, the cut detection is running. Okay, and now let's play through the scenes. And we see we have quite some things to annotate in this clip. Before we start with the annotation, I will create some annotation types. To do so, I select the annotation track, which is default in the annotator, and as a default the custom annotation type. Over here in the parameter widget side I can now create new annotation types. So let's create a few, like Bad Splice, and I click add type to create a new type. Then let's create some more, like flicker, unsteady, and maybe another one like dust. This has created now some annotation types which I can use. But the default type is just annotation. These are the shortcuts to change annotation types, like when I press now 1 it will jump to the annotation, 2 is Bad Splice, and so on. The next to the type I can select a severity level which can go from low to high, and I can do a custom command. But now let's go to the first frame in our scene. Let's add now a custom command. In this case Bad Splice has been selected already automatically because it was the default from the last one. And I can select the severity level, and I could add now some information as a command or anything else. Let's zoom in the timeline a little bit, and you see it has created now here an event which indicates a bad splice for this. In order to create more tracks, I can just add a track, and now I could, since when we play in the first scene we see there is a lot of dust also into it, so we can create, let's zoom out a little bit in the timeline, we can create another custom event. Default it is Bad Splice, but I want to have a dust, so I select the dust, and default it inserts the command on the current position, but I can just make the filter or the command in this case longer, or probably it's in this shot also, so I can expand it to several shots, or I can expand it to the whole timeline as I wish. Let's go to the beginning of this cut to see if it's a bad splice also. There's a shortcut to do so with the Ctrl and left key. I can jump from cut to cut, and here I see there's a bad splice, so I go to this track again and add my custom annotation and say it's a bad splice. And you will see again it creates an event down here. I can have as many annotation tracks as I want, and to stack different annotation types on top of each other. So when we see, okay, here we see it's a stabilization, slight stabilization issue in this cut also. So here we have a dust already, so I create actually a new track, and I add a new custom annotation, and I can use a shortcut to expand the annotation to for instance, to the whole shot. So I hold down the Control key, insert my custom event. Bad Splice was my last one, and I select now unsteady. You see it jumps to unsteady, and that's probably low unsteadiness over here. Besides the custom annotations, we have a set of predefined annotations called retouch, dust, scratch, flicker, stabilize. These are addition to the customs we just created right now. Okay, so let's zoom out again. So now we can create a report out of that if we want, and of course we can configure this report. So let's do this quickly. I go to configuration and I go to restoration report, and I can select which columns I want to have in my report, like frame numbers, time codes, the parameters, the types. Then I can control the thumbnail image generation. I can select the language, and I can select if I want to show the report after the exporting or not, and in which format. At the moment we support Excel reports, and HTML reports. XML reports are coming very soon. Okay, to create a report, we just go to export a restoration report, and let's do a report number 3 for instance, and let's call save. So it will create the report. At the top we see a summarization of our project. Then I get a list of my shots with the thumbnail. We selected the middle frame of the shot. We see the start and end time code, and then we get a list of the annotations which we did, like the unsteady from timecode to timecode with the severity level, or the bad splice. You see it's just on the first frame, and with our command. Okay, so let's close the report and we change the setting, and like I want to have a shot based report, so I tick this, and we say again export a restoration report. Let's call it report 4. And you see the beginning is the same, but then we got a shot based, so the shot 0 first, and everything which is in this shot, then in the next shot, and whatever is in this shot in the next shots. We haven't done anything yet. So let's close this again. In order to reuse our custom annotation types, we can actually go into the configuration, select annotations. Here we see these types, and I can save those types as a preset to a file and load these types in again using another annotator, so I can share this with several people to have the same annotation types. Also here I can delete the types or change shortcuts if I want. This tutorial did show how to create annotations with the DIAMAT-Film Annotator and how to export those in Excel or HTML format. Thank you.